In this video, I'm going to share about the pathway to permanent residence and citizenship in the United States and Canada. So this is a comparative discussion or comparative video and analysis about Canada and the US immigration with regard to the pathway to permanent residence and citizenship, because many people wanted to compare the two countries and make a decision where should they go and to have a larger possibilities and probabilities and opportunities for you to move from whatever status you have to permanent residence of that particular country, and from permanent residence of that particular country to citizenship. Which one has a better way? I don't want to say the easy way, but the better chances, more opportunities for transitioning or for the adjustment of status to permanent residence of Canada, and the adjustment of status from whatever visa you have to permanent residence of the United States of America. Welcome everyone. Again, this is your guy, EBM Ernest Boniface Makulilo, and I welcome you to the EBM Scholars, the headquarters of the opportunities, where we are having the opportunities to share with you, but most importantly on how you can be able to succeed. Because it's not just, oh, I win the green card lottery, I'm going to America. To do what? How are you going to succeed? Oh, I want to go to Canada as a student. What is the next step after arriving in Canada? Oh, I want to go to Norway. Then what? What are you going to do? What is the next step for you to be able to succeed as immigrant in that country? But what if you don't go to those countries? How are you going to succeed in your own country or within Africa or within Asia, wherever you are? How are you going to be the outstanding person and achieving your dreams and goals, regardless whether you want to go overseas or not plan to go to overseas? So consider subscribing to my YouTube channel if today is your first time to come to this wonderful channel. But for those who speak Swahili, there is another YouTube channel, which is a brand new YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/EBMSwahili, or just write EBM Swahili on your Google search or on the YouTube search. It will bring you to my other YouTube channel, which you can be able to get also a lot of interviews and more inputs in Swahili language in case you speak Swahili language. So my guys in Kenya, people in Tanzania, people in Burundi, people in the Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan, Uganda, and even in the United States, as long as you speak Swahili, please consider subscribing to that particular YouTube channel and get opportunities also from that channel. So let's go to this particular discussion of the topic. Have you subscribed? But remember to click the like button below so that the YouTube can be able first to recommend this video to so many other immigrants or people who are looking for these opportunities to be able to get them. So let's go to the pathway to the permanent residence and the citizenship of the United States of America versus Canada compared. So number one, what is permanent residence in general? Because sometimes I don't want to assume everybody knows it. So permanent residence, each country in the world has a standard status, which is called a permanent residence before you become a citizen of any particular country. So if you're in Tanzania, you're in Kenya. For instance, if you marry to Tanzanian or Kenyan or Ugandan or Nigerian, whatever, someone from Ghana, in that particular country, you cannot, if you want to become a citizen, you cannot just jump and become a US citizen or Ghanaian citizen, Nigerian citizen or Tanzanian citizen or Kenyan citizen. You have to go to a middle status, which is a permanent resident status. So let's say you go to Tanzania as international student, you go to Kenya as international student, and while you are there, you get married to someone, you can be allowed to apply to become a permanent resident. So permanent resident is just a resident permanently. That means you don't need to have extra authorization to get work permit or to live in that particular country. So you can live there based on the status, either depending on the investment, depending on marriage, just the family base, and all other ways you can be able to do that. So that is the permanent residence. So just like in the US, you cannot jump from being Tanzanian to US citizen without passing through being a permanent resident, first for a specified time. We'll talk about that. The same way as in Canada, you have to become maybe an international student, or you went as a temporary worker, professional worker in a certain company. Then you move from there to become a permanent resident, from permanent resident to become a Canadian citizen. If you want to become a Canadian citizen, we'll talk about that. But what is the easiest path between these two, or the likelihood for you to be able to move from whatever status? But before you move to whatever status, this is what I want to make sure you understand. The way, or the immigration status, the immigration way you use to go to that particular country will be able to determine how quickly difficult it becomes for you to become a permanent resident of that particular country. So let's say if you come as international student, it will differ between Canada and the United States. If you come as a tourist, it will be having difference. If you come as a worker, professional worker or temporary worker, it has a different way on moving from one step to another. So, in order to do that, let me clarify number one thing. The major big difference between the Canadian immigration and the US immigration towards becoming a permanent resident is based on two major areas which are very distinctive. In Canada, the larger percent of ways to become a permanent resident is through merit-based, which is a professional way. That is the highest percentage of visas are given through, or the highest percentage of immigrants who are becoming resident of Canada, permanent resident of Canada, are getting those ways through merit-based system. In America, unlike Canada, the larger percent of people getting green card, which is a permanent resident here in Canada, in the US, is through the family-based. So you see the bigger difference. Canada is based on majority. Yes, they have, if you marry Canadian, you will be citizen of or permanent resident of Canada, but the larger percent is through merit-based, professional. In the US, the larger percent is through the family-based. So whether you have PhD, you are primary school, but priority is given on the family. The merit system, work, whatever, those professional is a small percentage. So that is the biggest thing you will be able to see. With that particular reason, let's go to determine different ways. So number one, let's say you come as international student. International student, I made a video about international student. I'll put on the link below, whether the international student in America or Canada, who of the two will have a good, the quicker pathway, a different way to become a permanent resident of either of these two countries. And I talked more about Canada, will be the easy way. If you come as international student in America, there is nothing you can just by merit to change to become a permanent resident. There is no any other quicker way. You can come and do bachelor degree, master's, PhD, but once you finish, you can get 1 year work permit as OPT, optional practical training, and that one will take you, if you are in STEM or science and engineering, you can get up to 18 months. So, but after that, there is no a way. Yes, there is what you call EB, employment-based application for visa. You can apply and do a certain way, but it's a very tiny percentage. People can be able to go that, and most of the time, people with masters in technical or PhD, they can go through that way. It's a very small category. But apart from that, you have to get employed by a company. The company has to be having a willingness to sponsor you. And most companies, if you got any application, they say there, are you allowed to work? They want people who have already have work permit, and they are not they are written there, they're going to write there, they're not sponsoring anybody to give it given. First of all, you're able to be given a work visa, which H1 visa. Then from work visa, you have to be, after 2 or 3 years, they are going to apply for you to get permanent residence. So it's a very long process, and it depends on how the company policy is, and if they like you, and you're hardworking, whatever all those factors. And it's a very few organizations or companies which they are likelihood to sponsor you. But in Canada, unlike in Canada now, there are so many opportunities or ways international students to transition to become permanent resident. Number one is this way. If you apply in Canada as an international student, they don't have they have something like OPT in America, but they call postgraduate work permit. The work permit in Canada, after finishing studies, the duration of it is just beyond. It depends on how long your study is, duration of your study. So if you study bachelor degree for 4 years, you'll be given work permit of 4 years. If you do masters for 2 years, you'll have 2 years of work permit. If you do PhD for 5 years, you'll be given a work permit of 5 years. And while you are a student, both in Canada and US, while you are a student, you are allowed to work 20 hours per week as part-time. But in US, your wife is not allowed, or your husband is a dependent is not allowed to work in US. In Canada, your spouse is allowed to work full-time. So in Canada, because your spouse will have opportunity to work while you are studying for 2 years or 4 years, your spouse is allowed to work, and you as international students you're allowed to work. And once you finish, you get, let's say, 4 years of work permit. So if you include you and your spouse and you apply for what is called express entry, even if you're an international student with your work permit, you'll be combined, you and your spouse will have more points, because you can apply the express entry. You have work experience. You have work experience in Canada. You speak either English or French, the language in Canada. So you have more points in Canada to be able to do the express entry, which anybody can apply. Even if you are not in Canada, you can apply. But if you are inside Canada, it's a slam dunk, and you have work experience and you are studied in Canada. So that is that way. But in US, there is no such thing. Like if you're an international student and you worked here already, there is a system on the online. You just apply and you can transition. There is no merit base of that system. Secondly, there is another pathway for students, international students, and you get the postgraduate work experience. There is another pathway to apply as international student with work experience in Canada. You can apply. That's why you don't need to apply the shorter term programs like 1 year program. Apply 2 years, 4 years, 5 years program. That means you can have more years of work experience and you can transitioning to get the permanent residence of Canada. So in Canada, as international students, you have more likelihood to transition than in the US. But let's go to find another way of going to these countries. Let's talk about work. In the US, it's a very difficult process for someone to be employed by a company directly from your own country to come to America. In order to do that, the company has to offer the job, and if they say they want to hire person A from Kenya, person B from Ghana, they have to prove that job not many Americans are able to do. That's why we need to have experts from another country. So that means it limits people to come direct for job purposes. There is H1 visa. There is a certain category you can find. There are people from science, and especially from India and China and other countries you can apply. I know some people who came to direct to teach Swahili in America for the universities, because that is exceptional, highest level. Not many Americans have maybe degrees in Swahili to be able to teach. So there are those kind of ways you can be able to do that. But there is a very longer process. Yes, they have what they call TPS, temporary protected, whatever, farmers. There are those people coming with a temporary visa, but mostly like it's in farming. But in Canada, they have more programs where they can have professional jobs direct announced in the government programs, and also the provinces, they have their own programs. Like a truck driver, they can hire a truck driver direct from Tanzania, direct from Nigeria, direct from one other country. If you meet the certain criteria, you can be able to do that. You can be able to get the certain programs, like to go to work in the farms directly from your country. So there are trade school or vocational programs. You can be able to go direct and work in Canada. There are those kind of ways, but you have to avoid it to be scammed. There are so many scams online. So you have to make sure that you are using the government website and don't pay anybody through Western Union or wherever it is. You are going to be scammed. Application is free. You cannot be able to just apply for a job and pay. No. Make sure that you go through the government, and there are certain lawyers specifically they are able to do that from Canada. They can be able to help you with that. So that is another way. So if you come with a temporary work or work with a certain kind of work, you will be able to transition. It is okay as long as a full-time job, permanent, like 1 year, 2 years contract, whatever. You can be able to easier. Not this one, a summer job. Not I'm talking like you have 2 years contract. It is easier also to apply into transitioning to become a permanent resident in Canada than in US. If you come to work on the those we call temporary farmers or whatever temporary work, is difficult to be able to apply on your own. You have to be sponsored by your company. There are so many complicated ways. But what if you come as a tourist, a visitor? Both US and Canada, that is a difficult way to transition from international, just as a visitor, to become a permanent resident. It's just very difficult. That's why, yes, you can come as a visitor and then you can apply as a student and then you can change from there. But as a visitor, you're not allowed to work as a visitor. You have so many limitations as a visitor, both in US and in Canada. And something else, as I talked about the family versus merit-based, in the US, it's more about family, but the problem is not many people have the relatives, the blood relatives in America. So for that case, it's going to eliminate many people. But in Canada, because we are looking on the merit, just assume how many people in Nigeria have bachelor degree or master's degree or PhD. So many people. But how many people also there in Tanzania with master's or bachelor degree? So many people. How many people in Kenya, they have that degree? So many people. How many people with the degree in nursing from Ghana, Sierra Leone, from South Africa? So many people. But are those people have their brothers, sisters, the husband, wives, fathers and mothers in America as citizens? No. So in Canada, you have more chances. You can apply with the direct from your country as express entry, and you can be considered to go there and become a permanent resident through that pathway program than in America. They don't have the plan. You can apply directly on the website, and just because of your education, because of your work experience, to be given that opportunity. You have to wait for the lottery, and that is lottery is just a matter of chance. It is easier to be struck by the thunder than the possibility for you to be able to win the DV lottery, the diversity visa lottery, which I talk a lot on my YouTube channel. So those are the few things I wanted to people to understand. What are the pathways to permanent residence when we compare US and Canada? So if your dream is I must go to America because you see American flag, you see the Hollywood, whatever. In the end, both these are the first world countries. The quality of life in the US and Canada is almost the same. There is the same Walmart, the same lifestyle is still the same Western country. And if you're a permanent resident in Canada, you want to visit in America, it's easy. So don't be caught by, I must be in the United States, or I must be in Canada. They are all the first world country. So don't worry about that. Look for opportunities in many countries, US, Canada, but if you want also to look in Europe, look also in Europe. Then if you are from Europe, you want to come to America, that's up to you. You want to go to Canada, that's up to you. But don't be focusing on only one opportunity, because so many people, they're just waiting for green card lottery. And if they miss, they get so much upset with Biden, or they get so much upset with Trump, as if it's the one who made them don't get selected with that lottery system. But have other options beyond the lottery. There is express entry in Canada. There is no school fees, tuition and fees in Norway. Look about those. I talked on my YouTube channel. Check all those kind of videos and how you can be able to look at those opportunities and be able to succeed. So let me end up here. I'm so much thankful each and everyone for your continued support, but remember you have to subscribe. Remember you have to share these videos. Remember you have to share this channel to so many other people so that you can be able to share these videos. There are very few YouTubers around Africa who are YouTubers with this kind of information. Majority are comedian, entertainment, music, sports, gossip, celebrity life, but with the typical education channels, we are very limited. So let's share this word so that the parents and everybody, the children, college students, can prepare themselves into the greatness of their life. So thank you, everyone. Again, this is Ernest EBM talking from my home office here in Belton, Missouri, United States of America. I appreciate it. Thank you.